Here we will take a look at several key ratios for 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5, starting with the book-to-market (BTM) ratio. Value investors seek stocks with high BTMs for their portfolios. The ratio is a comparison of the firm's net asset value per share to its current price. This is helpful in determining how the market values the company compared to its actual worth. The book-to-market value of 5 Below Incorporated currently stands at 0.115918. In terms of EBITDA yield, 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 currently has a value of 5.13%. This value is derived by dividing EBITDA by enterprise value. 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 presently has a current ratio of 2.93. The current ratio, also known as the working capital ratio, is a liquidity ratio that displays the proportion of current assets of a business relative to the current liabilities. The ratio is simply calculated by dividing current liabilities by current assets. The ratio may be used to provide an idea of the ability of a certain company to pay back its liabilities with assets. Typically, the higher the current ratio the better, as the company may be more capable of paying back its obligations. The price-to-book ratio is the current share price of a company divided by the book value per share. The price-to-book ratio for 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 is 8.626756. A lower price-to-book ratio indicates that the stock might be undervalued. Similarly, price-to-cash flow ratio is another helpful ratio in determining a company's value. The price-to-cash flow for 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 is 26.059156. This ratio is calculated by dividing the market value of a company by cash from operating activities. Additionally, the price-to-earnings ratio is another popular way for analysts and investors to determine a company's profitability. The price-to-earnings ratio for 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 is 39.311645. This ratio is found by taking the current share price and dividing by earnings per share. Looking at some ROIC, return on invested capital, numbers, 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5's ROIC is 0.415721. The ROIC 5-year average is 0.35903, and the ROIC quality ratio is 16.795571. ROIC is a profitability ratio that measures the return that an investment generates for those providing capital. ROIC helps show how efficient a firm is at turning capital into profits. Free cash flow growth, Fcf growth, is the free cash flow of the current year minus the free cash flow from the previous year, divided by last year's free cash flow. The Fcf growth of 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 is 1.09498. Free cash flow, FCF, is the cash produced by the company minus capital expenditure. This cash is what a company uses to meet its financial obligations, such as making payments on debt or to pay out dividends. The free cash flow score, FCF score, is a helpful tool in calculating the free cash flow growth with free cash flow stability. This gives investors the overall quality of the free cash flow. The FCF score of 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 is 1.291768. Experts say the higher the value, the better, as it means that the free cash flow is high or the variability of free cash flow is low or both. The gross margin score is calculated by looking at the gross margin and the overall stability of the company over the course of 8 years. The score is a number between 1 and 100, 1 being best and 100 being the worst. The gross margin score of 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 is 12. The more stable the company, the lower the score. If a company is less stable over the course of time, they will have a higher score. At the time of writing, 5 Below Incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 has a Piotrowski F score of 6. The F score may help discover companies with strengthening balance sheets. The score may also be used to spot the weak performers. Joseph Piotrowski developed the F-score, which employs 9 different variables based on the company financial statement. A single point is assigned to each test that a stock passes. Typically, a stock scoring an 8 or 9 would be seen as strong. On the other end, a stock with a score from 0 to 2 would be viewed as weak. Shifting gears, we can see that 5 below incorporated. NasdaqGS 5 has a QI value of 48. The QI value ranks companies using 4 ratios. These ratios consist of EBITDA yield, Fcf yield, liquidity, and earnings yield. The purpose of a QI value is to help identify companies that are the most undervalued. Typically, the lower the value, the more undervalued the company tends to be. Watching some historical volatility numbers on shares of 5 below incorporated. NasdaqGS 5, we can see that the 12-month volatility is presently 31.0467. The 6-month volatility is 25.4658, and the 3-month is spotted at 27.1956. Following volatility data can help measure how much the stock price has fluctuated over the specified time period. Although past volatility action may help project future stock volatility, it may also be vastly different when taking into account other factors that may be driving price action during the measured time period.